Hello everyone, what is going on? My name is Shu, and welcome not only to the start of the CRL 2023 fall semester, but also to my new channel. This is going to be a Rocket League exclusive channel separate from my other main channel where I do a lot of gaming stuff. So if you're here, you probably already knew about that channel. We're moving everything Rocket League related over here now, whether it's collegiate Rocket League or RLCS, or I have some other fun stuff going on. So if you're interested in all this Rocket League stuff, make sure to go subscribe. Be greatly appreciated. I would like to get to like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 before the end of the year. That'd be pretty cool. And I would greatly appreciate it. But we're gonna go ahead, get underway right away. CRL 2023 Fall Primer. We're just going to be going over this, talking about all the changes that CRL has made for this semester. There are quite a few things, and some of them are very dramatic. So make sure to stick all the way to the end. It's going to be very amazing. Let's go ahead and get underway. So first of all, we're just going to go through the breaking down the CRL season. Very similar stuff here for the most part. 32 teams, 16 from West, 16 from East, go through league play. Very similar, exact same as what happened before. Qualifiers are the same as before. Big difference, there's no playoffs this semester, which is actually insane to me. Because I think a really big storyline that develops every single year comes from those playoffs. The big one I can think of is Missouri S&T last year as the 8th seed, beating UNLV as the 1st seed in those playoffs. And without the playoffs, it really just comes down to consistency during league play, which I'm not a big fan of, especially because once you get down to those final couple of matches, if you're solidified in like the top 1 or 2 spots, you're probably not going to care as much. But when you have playoffs, you know, you have to think about that seeding and who you're going to be playing and everything like that in those playoffs just to make nationals. But instead, there are going to be 6 teams from the East and West each that are just automatically going to nationals. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this, for all the reasons I've already stated. I think that we'll have to give it a chance, see how it is. The element of consistency is still the biggest factor here. Obviously, you have to be consistent during league play, but I really like the idea that you have to combine consistency with that element of performing on the day. And that's what playoffs generally is having to perform on the day to win 3 matches against the other top teams of your conference. But yeah, we'll just have to see how this looks. And so we're going to have 12-team nationals instead of the normal 6. Which I honestly probably is a better thing to have the East and West combine a little bit more. Obviously, East is probably going to dominate us, let's be honest. But it's always better to get that experience anyway. Next thing that is talked about here is the same school qualifier. This is something that was tried out over the summer and I think was a pretty big success. And the whole idea behind this is that the day before qualifiers, if there are more than 2 teams per university, they will play in a small double elimination bracket. And it whittle it down to 2, so that way only the 2 best teams per school go through. This is just, I think, to just limit the bracket, save some time, a couple rounds. I think a really good example is us over at Colorado State. We are looking to have 5 teams this semester. Granted, this is the most we've ever had, so this is pretty new for us. But we're looking to have 5 teams this semester. And imagine if, you know, the average was 3 or 4 teams per school. That would add an extra 1 or 2 rounds because you're having hundreds of schools competing in this. This has brought up a little controversy. I think the biggest people that I've heard talking about it is Arizona State University, where they claim that they have 3 pretty even level 1,700 teams, and one of them is not going to get the experience of qualifiers. First of all, there's 2 qualifiers, so you know you can always mix things up. But I think that it's more important to limit the qualifiers so that way it's not running 8, 9, or even 10 hours instead limiting it to maybe the 5 or 6 that is required for those lower bracket runs. I think it's a really good addition. It worked really well in summer, and something that we're actually going to be implementing at CSU, thanks to the suggestion of Smacks from Missouri S&T, is we're actually going to just let our teams play out the bracket over the entire week, and then only have 2 teams even register for CRL qualifiers. I thought that this was a really good idea. It gives the players time to just kind of, you know, um, figure out their schedule, decide when to actually play each other. And then also our A team, you guys saw them over summer. I mean, they're looking to most likely qualify. I don't want them beating up on our, champ 2, champ 3 level team. That won't help anyone. So that way we can also just have like they automatically just register. Other 4, you know, fight it out for one spot. I think it's just a really good way to potentially do it if you are a different school that is running into the issue of just having a lot of teams. And then if we go ahead and look at the key dates, I mean, this is very straightforward stuff. It looks almost exactly identical to how it did last year. Mid September qualifiers, all the way to mid November championship. This is almost exactly the same. The final day of the championships is going to be on my birthday. I think last year it was like the Saturday of it. So it's basically the exact same thing that we're looking at. And then league play, just a month long league play. That checks out. That sounds about right. It might be a little bit shorter, I want to say. I think it might be like a week shorter this time around. I'm not sure. But I think they'd have to play like 4 matches a week instead of 3, which might be a bit much for some of these teams, especially since I know there's some teams that have to like skip a week. Um, I don't know. Maybe if everything happened a week earlier, that'd be nice. But I think that this is still, pretty average pace, pretty normal. Fall opens happening same as normal. Um, there is going to be some difference in the fall opens, so that'll be talked about later. But first, we should probably talk about the broadcasts, because as you can notice, there's only one broadcast, which is the official Rocket League Twitch channel. Sadly, the CRL B stream is not happening this semester. It was something that was decided fairly recently, from what I know. Um, and it sounded like it came down to just some money issues, which, surprise, surprise, I mean, esports in general is having a lot of money issues right now. So that means that the College Carball channel is not going to be streaming the matches. All of the broadcast staff from the B stream is not going to be paid to work that stream. I still would really like a couple of them to be brought onto the A stream, but it doesn't sound like that's happening. It sounds like A stream's going to stick with just the RLCS casters, which is pretty disappointing. And uh, there was a tweet put out by College Carball, just talking about everything. It does really suck. You can see Vaudable on the right side, who hosted it for 4 years. This is the first time that he won't be hosting it. I mean, Vaudable, Danger Taco, Squid, um, oh my goodness, Bass from the past. I'm sorry. There's a lot of names that are gonna have to come up. Chixa, um, there's a long list. I'm sorry that I can't talk about everyone. I forgot to put it in my notes. And my memory sucks. But it really does suck. But I know that they did get permission to be streaming this on their personal channels. And it sounds like that you could even get drops from those channels, hopefully. So make sure to go be checking those out. I am going to be trying to gather clips. I've already gotten permission from a few of the casters to get clips from their streams personally. And I'll be putting that in YouTube Shorts and everything. I'll be linking their streams and every single thing that involves them. Please make sure to go support them any way you can. I know Vaudible's pushing for a Twitch partner. Those kind of things are going to be really huge for them at this time, where their work is on the line and they might need just a little bit of extra income, and just making partner is such a massive step towards them being able to make this a full-time job. So I'd really implore you all to go and check out their channels and everything like that. And the last thing is CRL Open. Um, Previously, how CRL Open work technically it was the CCA Open before, so I guess I don't know. Psionics decided to fully put that in. Before, how it worked is, 4 tournaments, exact same as it is now, and at the end of them, teams would earn a little bit of money, but they would also earn points, and these points added up over the entire school year, until the last chance qualifier for CRL Worlds, to where I think it's the top 8 from each conference, gets makes it through to the last chance qualifier. Those points don't exist this time around. We have no idea what that means. It might mean that the last chance qualifier isn't happening. It could mean that only the winner of each open makes it through. It also means that rosters are potentially going to shuffle more, because you're not required to keep 2/3 of a roster to keep your points. So they're just going to be pretty much closed tournaments, um, like open to everyone, but like closed off from each other, just individual weekend tournaments. Which we'll have to see how that works. I think it matters on how the overall format works around it. And the really big thing that I questioned is that the East and West will be competing against each other. That's not something that I'm a big fan of. A really big issue that has evolved is the fact that a majority of these West schools are on the West Coast at Washington, Oregon, California. They are going to probably have to play on East servers. That's 80 to 90 ping potentially. Um, and as you can see, $5,000 per tournament that they're putting on the line. There are some of these West teams that could go up against the bubble of the East teams, but if they don't have, good ping, they're more likely to lose. They're going to lag. And that's something that I'm really not for. For the CRL Open, I wish it would just stick to West plays West, East plays East. Um, until we have central servers, it's not viable for West and East teams to be competing against each other. And that is all that there is. Make sure that you guys are registering. The first qualifier registration closes on the 21st, which is in 11 days of this video posting. So go do that if you haven't already. And make sure to go like and subscribe. As I said before, I'm going to be covering all of CRL happening this entire semester. I'm going to try and get a power rankings out, or not power rankings, prediction rankings. I don't want to say power rankings because it's going to be very subjective. Out next week, and then we'll go over qualifiers, everything like that. I am looking forward to making all this content on this channel. I think it'll be really great to have it separated for just Rocket League content, so that way you guys can just enjoy that and not be bombarded by all of my Minecraft and Pokemon stuff. And I'm really looking forward to it. I have this stuff planned. I have some RLCS stuff planned. I have some statistician stuff planned because I am serial statistician. I like working with the numbers, and I found some very fun things so far. So I hope to see you guys around. But for now, that is all. Peace out.